Louisiana, as a jail employee arrested in connection to the inmate escape in New Orleans, as the Attorney General Liz Muriel has announced the arrest there, as special agents assigned to the Louisiana Bureau of Investigation have arrested and interviewed 33-year-old Sterling Williams, who was employed as a maintenance.
Still on the run after escaping a jail in New Orleans. Surveillance video now showing the 10 inmates right here running out of the jail on Friday after squeezing through a hole behind a toilet. Now we have this new surveillance video footage right here. Check this out. It shows, appears to show, two of the prison escapees walking in New Orleans through the French Quarter in plain clothing with their heads down on Friday morning. One of the prisoners shown in the video is actually arrested shortly after this video was taken. The other inmate is seen on the footage. Well, he's still at large.
A jail employee arrested in connection to the inmate escape in New Orleans, as the Attorney General Liz Muriel has announced the arrest there, as special agents assigned to the Louisiana Bureau of Investigation have arrested and interviewed 33-year-old Sterling Williams, who was employed as a maintenance worker at the sheriff's office at the time the inmates escaped. Williams admitted to agents that one of the escapees advised him to turn off the water in the cell where the inmates escaped from. Instead of reporting the inmate, Williams turned the water off as directed, allowing the inmates to carry out their scheme to successfully escape. I do want to put up this here as well on Live Now from Fox from Nate Boy talking about this. Told him to turn off the water in the cell.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy, Mr. 1751. I'd like to thank you all, man, for tuning in. Kicking it with your boy, Mr. 1751, once again, man. For those of you who already smashed that subscribe and hit that bell notification, I like to take my hat off to y'all, man, like always. You know, y'all greatly appreciate it, man. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Anyway, this today we're gonna be following up on a topic that I just recently reviewed about a county jailhouse escape coming out of Louisiana, New Orleans, Louisiana. Now, this situation, man, from the beginning, I said a lot of you should be able to recall if you watched the last video that I've done on this. I said that there's no way these guys did this on their own, man. You know, in order to disconnect that structure from that wall, you know, that takes some very heavy duty tools, man. You're not doing that with a homemade jailhouse whack, a jailhouse knife. You're not disconnecting the structure of that nature from the wall, man, and then cutting a hole like that behind that structure after removing it from the wall. And then not only was that just quite questionable, the pipes behind the wall that was connected to that water structure, the toilet and the sink structure, that thing there. Not only was that questionable, the pipes that was connected to that structure were cut, right? All these things take different types of heavy duty tools, man. I mean tools that are very unusual, to say the least. Not your little small screwdriver or your little small hand pliers, right? Now, just like I said, man, in my last video, man, this escape was assisted by somebody within that facility, and today, it is revealed. It was just revealed, that everything I said was correct. Now the officials say that there were a lot of suspicions raised from the time all of this happened, from the time all this unfolded, man. And they were frustrated, they were embarrassed. As you can see, they threw it all. They dropped the ball. They threw it on each other. nobody wanted to take accountability, for this whole thing unfolding the way it did. Everything from the clown show, man, the lady put on her clown glasses, everything from, the district attorney, everybody just tossing the blame back and forth on each other, man. Nobody wanted to take accountability for this whole occurrence, man, this whole situation, right? Now, it had just been revealed that one of the three people, and I like to apologize because the last video, I said that there were two people who were placed on administrative leave, suspension without pay. But turns out there were three. There were three facility officials, who were suspected of assisting these guys in this crime, in this jailbreak, right? Now, just today, breaking, a few hours ago, it was revealed that a maintenance worker by the name of Sterling Williams, middle-aged black guy, it was revealed that this guy was interviewed, and he admitted that earlier that evening that some of the inmates, approached him and asked him to turn the water off, behind the structure, so that they can, escape through that little hole that you see in the wall there, right? Now, for this guy to take them up on their offer for whatever reason, that raised a lot of questions as well. You don't just do things like that when you're when you're just a civilized civilian, man, especially working at a facility of that nature, man. You don't just jeopardize, your paycheck. You don't jeopardize, your life, man. Just your life as you know it, man. You don't jeopardize it just helping out guys who are in this type of situation, knowing that they already threw their freedom away and they have nothing else to lose. But you have everything to lose. A lot of times these situations happen, man. And like I said in the last video, man, a lot of times what you have here is you have a bunch of inmates, right, who has nothing but time in their hands, man. They have all the time in the world to think of how to manipulate the prison officials, the COs, the maintenance workers, and a lot of times, man, this is what you get. This is what happens, man. These people, they're regular civilians, man. They come to work and they don't understand the difference between the regular population, and dealing with how to deal with these guys on the inside. These guys, they will do everything from, get you comfortable by talking about the Eagles, football, basketball. They will figure out what sport, what sport you're enthused by. They would figure out what sport you like to, you like to talk about, man. What sport enthuses you, man? And a lot of times these guys, they would talk to these jailhouse maintenance crews and the COs, the vulnerable people who don't understand the caliber of the individual they're dealing with, behind these walls. And they would get these people comfortable talking about everything under the sun. And before you know it, these people drop their guard, man. And a lot of times these inmates, they can see it. They're very observant, man. They could see the guard of these people dropping when they got them at their most vulnerable state. A lot of times they end up being successful. They end up being successful, man, in manipulating these people, man, because like I said, most of these people, man, they're just not cut for these to be working in these type of situations, these type of facilities, right? Now, just a few days ago, I did a video on the situation, and I said, there is no way, man, these guys did this on their own, man. You know, they had to be assisted by some sort of prison official. Facility official, right? But if any of you remember, the first couple of days after this situation occurred, the facility officials, you know, and the district attorney, everybody took to the news conference, and they said, first, if you remember properly, first they said there was a woman who was supposed to be overseeing, you know, these people, and they didn't say, they wouldn't say whether it was a CO, you know, a prison officer, corrections officer, or like a maintenance, you know, somebody from a maintenance crew. But I don't understand why a maintenance person will be watching the camera anyway. But now it's kind of unfolding, and they're kind of clearing up. They're kind of clearing up like they said they would about you know, this lady. First they said it was a lady who was supposed to be overseeing these guys, and her food came, and she unfortunately somehow left her post. She left her post. And when I heard that, the first thing come to my mind, I said, okay, so in order to leave the post, which is just questionable to me, you know, from the start, you know, but to leave the post to grab some food, that should only take about a few minutes. Now, as you can see in the footage, these guys, this escape didn't happen in just a few minutes. You know, it doesn't look like it happened in just a few minutes. You know, these guys had some time on their hands, man, to pry at this door, and then to get all these guys who didn't even belong in that you know, in that pod, because like the district attorney cleared up when he said there is no way these many inmates should have even been in that pod together, you know, at once in the first place, because originally this pod was designed for 2 heads, not 10, not 11.
10 men were in a single pod. There's not a pod over there made for 10 men. There were monitors that should have been watched that would have observed these individuals getting into that first floor pod.
A lot of questions raised around that, you know, just around that whole thing. Anyway, man, it's just it's a mess. It's a whole big mess, man. But now they're saying that the maintenance man was interviewed, and I'm guessing they're saying he confessed that these guys asked him to shut off the water behind that structure, and that's exactly what he did. So he's facing charges. He's headed to the county jail himself for making such a stupid mistake, man. You know, for making such a stupid decision, man. You know, now hopefully this guy don't have any kids, man, or anybody out here, you know, just relying on him, man, that needs him, because this guy here, man, he was Boo Boo the Fool. You know, this was your average Boo Boo the Fool, man. You know, who just don't know how to just make sound decisions, man. You know, but yeah, this guy, man, he's on his way off to the county, you know, to the county jail himself now, you know, to replace some of these guys. You know, but moving on, man. Now, as you might have heard, they're saying that there's an independent company who placed cameras all around New Orleans. you know, throughout the community, downtown, you know, just probably in residential areas and, you know, areas where there are shopping malls and, you know, stores and things of that nature, right? But as you can see on the footage, man, their cameras was of great assistance, man, for law enforcement, you know, in helping them to capture one of these guys anyway, you know, because as you can see on the camera footage, from a camera on a pole in a residential area, you see two of these guys walking with their face covered, which is probably not the smartest thing to do, man. If you're a prison escapee, you know, if you're an escapee, you want to try to appear normal, man. You don't want to be walking, you know, covering your face up with your hood in broad daylight, you know, wearing all black, just looking suspicious, you know. And like I said, most of the time these guys, when they escape, they don't have a plan. They don't have the means to make it, you know, far away from the community where they resided at prior to being, you know, arrested and convicted for the first crime in the first place, you know. And a lot of these guys, they go back to the community, you know, where they was born and raised, man, where everybody know them, you know, and they end up going back to the baby mama's house or grandmom's house, you know, or just somebody who they're familiar with, and they end up having a short-lived thrill outside of the prison, you know. Sometimes these guys, man, they cross city lines or even state lines, but a lot of times these guys, man, they get caught right in their own backyard, man. You know, where everybody that they're familiar with, man, this is where they go back to. This is all they know, you know. But anyway, these cameras that was placed all throughout the city from this independent company, they were of great assistance, man, because as you can see, like I said, man, they caught these two of these guys, man, walking, which look like is a downtown area, and they're covering their face, right? And this camera company, they're like ahead of the game on technology, man. They have facial recognition. They have facial recognition, man, where there are cameras. You know, when this jailhouse escape first happened, this company they retrieve mugshots from the county jail of all of these escapees, and they put these guys' mugshots into a database where their camera systems all throughout the city can find a match and kind of zero in wherever they may see any of these guys, man. And you know, these cameras were successful at being able to zero in, zero in the face of these two young guys as they stupidly walked in a downtown, which looked like a downtown area where people are likely to be shopping or just enjoying the views or whatever. But this camera system zeroed in on these guys, man, and didn't take long for the police to head over to that area where they captured one of these young guys. And now they're saying the second guy, he's escaped again. He's still at large. But had they moved a lot sooner, they would have captured both of these young guys and brought them back into custody.
Timing is everything in this manhunt.
Oh, timing meant a lot. Regrettably, we lost one of the murderers just by about 1 minute. If we would have received notifications even 1 minute earlier from the sheriff's office, we would have actually helped apprehend two subjects and not just one.
But the prison officials, man, the jailhouse officials, man, from the beginning, from the beginning, they were saying that there was a woman who was supposed to be overseeing these guys, you know, at that post within the facility, you know. And then a day later, you know, they said there was a man. So there was questions being raised, you know, then. And I said to myself, man, this story is already it's already got a lot of twists and turns, man. You know, the whole situation was fishy from the beginning, if you ask me. You know, but these are the type of things, man, that are going to continue to happen, man. If they continue to underfund these facilities, if they continue to underpay these staff members, you know, the maintenance crews, everybody needs to be paid, man. You know, a respectable share, man, so that you can store your trust into these individuals, man, and so that, especially in these type of facilities, man, because all it takes is one person, man, to be upset about just anything, man, any type of mistreatment or anything, man, and it happens all the time, man. You know, these people get frustrated for being underpaid, you know, mistreated, and they go on to help these individuals, these inmates, to do some crazy things, man. And it's just unfortunate. But anyway, man, until next time, man, it's your boy, Mr. 1751, bringing you another 1751 review. And until next video, y'all stay up. Hey, yo, if you enjoy watching videos like these, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe. Help your boy get into the algorithm so that I can continue to bring you more videos just like the one you just watched. Anyway, until next time, y'all stay up.
New Orleans in Louisiana, as a jail employee arrested in connection to the inmate escape in New Orleans, as the Attorney General Liz Muriel has announced the arrest there as special agents assigned to the Louisiana Bureau of Investigation.